Hey Scorpio, welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. So we have the shaman, the village, the vision, the kiss, the offering, and agape. Um, Scorpios. I am just getting started, so if this video resonates with you, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so let's start with the village, right? Because the village is the idea that you cannot get any bigger than the village will let you get. And Scorpios, y'all have been dealing with this card or this energy for a minute now of just this idea of like you cannot get any bigger than the village will let you get. And at one point in time, I feel like it was my Scorpio reads where it was like you questioned, you allowed for these people to like make you question your own worth and value outside of them, which is like like it's not hard for it to happen. That's how we have all of these survival stories of like people who escape cults and people who have to, like escape abuse in their families. I mean, like find me an institution that doesn't restrict people. you know, Anarchy for life, like but seriously, Scorpios, I feel like the idea here is that you've just been extremely restricted by person, people, community, relationships, employees, like you name it. Pick an institution, any institution, like. But the idea that you hold on to these things or these people or these communities because they offer you the identity, which is why it's so terrifying to let that go, because to let go of them is to let go of your identity, right? It's why so many people get stuck. But the idea of the shaman is that if you hold on to one element, right, like seeking your identity through external sources, then you miss out on the entirety of your life experience, and you get one life, Scorpio. And so it's this idea of really releasing this death grip that you have on your village, however that plays out for you, so that you can really embrace and engage life, all of it. Because once you're able to do that, you're going to be able to really gain a better understanding of you. Who are you? Like, what is your character, right? I mean, shit, when you never have to have your character challenged, then you could be the world's shittiest person and sit around with a silver spoon shoved up your ass thinking that you are like the most moral, on the like most morally, like perfect person. And in all reality, like if shit hit the fan, those people who think they're so, morally upstanding usually are the ones who end up being the shittiest, most manipulative, conniving, shithead people that you've ever dealt with in your life. And Scorpios, I feel like there's an element here of realizing like you are so far above like the moral high horse that these people are on, and every time you have to face a situation you recognize that your character is hella stronger than their character. Like come at me now, bitch. You know what I mean? And so I feel like there's an idea here of entering into a relationship that is aligned with your vision of like what you always really thought life meant. Like when you think about life. I was talking to one of my Scorpios the other day. Hey Andrea, shout out to you, love, love. But it was we were talking about the idea of like creating a vision board, right? I was like, my refrigerator is my vision board. Like it is covered in art and poetry. But it's covered in art and poetry that speaks to all the things that I envision for my life, all the things that I want. And I feel like there's this idea of somebody really seeing who you are and what you want. And I want to say appreciating the vision that you have for life and offering you an opportunity to really, I want to say offering you a level of intimacy and an awareness of who you are that really allows for you to, I want to say, lean into comfortably the idea that you are not alone in what it is that you seek to do and what it is that you seek to create. I feel like there's like this energy of like revelation and like uncovering all of the shit and having to release a lot of things and yes, okay, through with that, like carrying, like move along, the lesson is over and come and gone. But now you've been engaging with people who actively listen to you and who see your vision and who understand the process. And I think want to protect that and be intimate in it and and just be a part of that with you. I mean, it's just like this, like who doesn't love the idea of not having to take on the challenges of life alone, right? And again, that's part of the reason that we have such a difficult time of letting go of the bullshit is because it's like, well, but then I have to do it alone. And Scorpios, like we have done a lot of it alone, right? I mean, here's the thing with death. Nobody can die with you, right? Like transformation, death and transformation, that's a you thing, not a them thing, not an us thing, not a we thing, right? And I feel like you had to go through this death alone, but you got to the other side, right? And you transformed and you're the phoenix rising and you are coming up into yourself and aware of yourself and somebody sees you. I almost want to say because you see yourself, right? It's like you were so limited by these people, they couldn't see that you outside of them to the point where you were having a hard time seeing yourself outside of them. Like maybe that I don't exist out of them. Maybe everything that they're saying is right. Maybe. And questioning yourself to a point where I like it was just almost too much to bear. You're forced to let go. But thank God you did. Okay, let's see what else we can get. The Fool, yes, new beginnings. And Scorpios, I really do feel like it's just this idea of like you undergoing this death, but in undergoing the death, you experience the rebirth, and the rebirth has enabled you to really. Okay, so we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is manipulation, right? I mean, manipulation is I own you. I pay for this and I gave you this job and I gave you this house and I da 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 and I like you adhere to me because I did this for you. You belong to me. I own you. Ew. you know, and I think you realizing the fact that they didn't give you shit. They gave you limitations and, like emotional and verbal abuse. They gave you a lie that said that you weren't who you were and you believed it. And it's like, hold on. Now that I see all of your shit for what it really is, first of all, fuck you. And second of all, deuces. you know, I have to work on myself. I gotta go. I gotta like it's this idea of like I gotta go through this transformation. I gotta do me. And this has been a theme in your read, Scorpio, for a minute now, right? Just this idea of transformation, this idea of breaking free. So whether you've done it yet or not, know that it needs to be done or be glad that you did it. No regrets, you know? Because I feel like in all reality, that letting go of that toxicity and going in your own direction and really getting to know yourself and understanding your own character and your own person outside of the confines of all of their institutionalized thinkings, like that's where your freedom is and that's where you're going and you don't have to do it alone, Scorpio. There is newness all around you. The Star, Just the Ten of Swords, Eight of Swords. Well, Scorpios, I mean, I feel like there's this idea of like this person that you cut off, like there may be an element of them really seeing things differently, but I don't get the feeling that you really trust it because it's kind of like, again, I just kind of feel like this idea of I did this myself. You know what I mean? Like I healed myself. I grounded myself and rooted myself. Like I did that for me. And so I will take my new beginning and I will be done with your bullshit. And the hanged man, like I feel like there may be an element of like when you empower yourself, you really do empower others. And we live in a society that's very like egocentric, and so people will act on their own behalf, and selfishness can be a terrible destructive thing. But acting selfishly and acting on your own behalf are very, very different. Me feeding myself because I'm hungry is not me being selfish, right? But if I am hoarding all of the food and making sure that everybody else starves, then that's selfish, right? That's not acting on behalf of yourself. That's just being a shitty person, right? And I feel like there are people who are shitty people who want to come at you like you're shitty. That's called projection. you know, and if they are like greedy hoarder motherfuckers, you know what I mean? That like want to come up off on of your success through your transformation and they want to claim that as their own because that's what people do, right? I mean, especially, like you can escape something and then come up out of it and stand over it and people still want to come at you like you wouldn't have gotten that if it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? You're like, bitch, I got this in spite of you. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's just again this idea of like overcoming this conversation and then coming into your new beginning. And I think starting in that new beginning with somebody who sees you and protects you and wants to work with you. Because the kiss is intimate. And the Ace of Cups, especially in this deck, is the idea of the otters and how the otters, they hold hands when they're sleeping so they don't lose each other. Like, it's sweet. And the kiss is the idea of like romantic intimacy, sex, passion, love, I mean, like all of these things. And Scorpio, you have it on the other side of your transformation. Somebody who sees you, honors you, respects you, like cherishes you, meets you where you need to be met. You know what I mean? Like, fuck the rest of that noise. Get rid of it already. And for my Scorpios who have gotten rid of it already, you're there. You've got it. So no worries. All right. Scorpios. I don't know why I'm having such a difficult time remembering the next thing that I wanted to say. Oh, if you're interested in booking a personal read, please click the link in the description box below. These are 45 minutes. They're $100. Like this gives us an opportunity to break down any questions that you have concerning past, present, or future energies. If this is where we part ways, thank you so much for spending some time with me. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Bye.